Hey everybody, we are back at the Pizza Hut in Galleon for this edition of Coach's Corner East. The Col Crawford segment of tonight's show. We're brought to you in part by Don Barr and Associates at the Galleon Building and Loan Bank, Matt Studer at Spitzer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Kia, 1 mile east of the Richmond Mall, Mark Osborne and Associates at E-Crane International, serving worldwide markets from the Galleon Industrial Park. And it pleases me to welcome back to the microphone head football coach at Col Crawford High School, Ryan Teglovic. And it's been a number of weeks. I know you've been busy and lots of things going on, but it's great to see you back. And wow, what a season. You go 10-0 last year in the regular season and almost repeated that this year with a 9-1 record, 6-1 in the Northern 10 Conference for a second place finish. And you did that through another convincing win, this time over a really good program in Seneca East. You defeated them Friday night 45-13. And every week when I start to put these numbers together, I might as well just put 500 plus yards of total offense and just leave it there, because it seems like you keep doing that over and over again, which is a credit to you and Coach Berner on the offensive side. But as Coach DeGray was here last week, I said, geez, so Pete, your defense is doing wonders as well. But 543 yards of total offense, 61 plays, almost 9 yards per play, which a couple of those in a row, and you got a first down. And a comment that you had made in the Telegraph Forum, we knew we'd come in here and play hard, or we knew we'd have to come in here and play hard. I thought our guys played well, both sides of the football. I thought we executed well and got a good win, and indeed was a good win against a really quality program. Ed Phillips' teams are always really well prepared. Talk about that a little bit, Coach.
Yeah, Seneca East is a good football team. Very impressed, especially with the quarterback. I think the Hargis kid is an excellent football player, and they've got a good senior class in general, and we've known that coming in. I thought it was coming into the season, I thought they would have one of the most talented teams in the league. Now, they suffered a pretty big loss early on with the Snook kid, tearing an ACL, which hurt them, but they still had a very good season. And we knew we'd have to play. I thought we executed, like I said, very well on both sides of the ball, and not just both sides of the ball, special teams as well. So I thought overall it was a clean game. Obviously, there's still lots of things to work on, and we talked about those things in film Saturday morning, and hopefully mature those things up this week.
Yeah, for sure. And normally I'm so used to saying, and the scoring started with a Mollenkov run or a Kleinert run, but not this week. Cam Lord of Carter Valentine opened up the scoring, 63-yard pitch and catch to open it up. Seneca East responded just a couple plays later. You mentioned the quarterback Hargis, right?
Yes.
Hargis, the quarterback at Seneca East, ripped off a 44-yard scamper. Matt Kleinert, 6-yard score, followed by two Mollenkov TDs of 36 and 53, finished out the scoring for Col Crawford in the first half. And then Lincoln got his third TD of the night from 3 yards out, another Lord of Valentine TD pass for 44 yards. And you mentioned special teams. Braxton Morton got a 28-yard field goal and was perfect on PATs as well. And that's an added touch with something when you go into the playoffs that become vitally important. And that really ended the scoring and implemented a running clock for the final 5+ minutes of the game. And when you talk about that, you think about, we've talked so much about the offense and the defense, but how important has a guy like Braxton Morton, as well as your kickoff teams, your kick return teams, your punt coverage teams, talk about the importance of the job that they do, because they're kind of the unglorified guys all the time. They're sometimes younger guys, but they play such an important role in the game of football.
The special teams is extremely important. We take a night and work that. In fact, tomorrow night will be our special teams night. Coach Moore is a coach that's specifically in charge of that. He does a great job with them. And Braxton has had a great year for us. Not only he's kicked 5 field goals for us, which I think has got to be a record. I don't know if we have any record of that, but 5 field goals for us, and I believe the number is he's 62 and 63 in extra points. So it's consistency, and that's the thing that we look for in those guys is just the consistency. And we don't do a lot of crazy stuff, but what we do, we want to make sure we do well. And I think our guys do a good job of that.
Lincoln Mollenkov, maybe not a record number of yards compared to other games that he's had, but 249 yards on 27 carries, 3 TDs, but he did break the Col Crawford school rushing record and TD record. Now 2,165 yards on 213 carries. That's over 10.2 yards a tote and 32 TDs. And when I think about a guy like last year, Tristan Cross, I think, those are sometimes once in a lifetime or once in a generation type players. And to have a Tristan Cross last year followed up with a Lincoln Mollenkov this year, you got to feel pretty blessed as a team.
You're right, and I think a lot of people would look at that record and think that that's probably Tristan's record that he broke, but that's a 2015 record that Will Kirkpatrick held with over 2,000 yards rushing from the quarterback position that year. So, yeah, I mean, Lincoln's had a phenomenal year, but the thing that we like to say is that we've been here. I think I've been here 14 years now, and 12 of those 14 years we've had a 1,000-yard rusher or better. So, and the thing I like about Lincoln is not only is he just a phenomenal running back, phenomenal player, works really hard, but a lot of people didn't realize last year as a junior he had 6 carries, and so there's not a lot of guys that are that talented that will sit around and wait their turn, and then when they get their opportunity, they go out there and prove themselves. So we appreciate that from our guys, and I really think that our guys do a great job of that. They don't necessarily play at the younger level, that kind of thing, but when they do get their opportunity, they absolutely make the best of it. Lincoln surely has.
Cam Lohr only 3 of 7 passing for 119 yards, 2 touchdowns. He rushed for another 85 yards on 10 carries. Matt Kleiner had 71 yards, touchdown on 9 carries. And Carter Valentine made 2 catches, but they both ended in the end zone for 170 yards. That's kind of the sign of efficiency. Another comment you had made, if we can do double tight and run the football all night, that's what we're going to do. And now through 10 games, you're averaging just shy of 50 points a game, 343 yards on the ground, 103 in the air for 446 overall, but your defense, Coach DeGray's pride and joy, only surrendering just under 13 points a game, under 75 yards rush, 130 pass, 204. Those numbers stand out, but those are going to win you a lot of games as well, and it's proven that.
Yeah, our defense has been extremely good this year as well. We're giving up right around 200 yards a game, and like you said, less than 13 points a game. I feel like that group they're continuing to get better every week. I feel like that may be one of the. I've talked to our guys all year about this. It might be one of the most physical groups that we've had and coached here. I mean, those guys really get after it on that side of the ball. It's got some old school, some throwback guys on that side of the ball that really like to hit, and sometimes this day and age you don't see that as much in kids. And I'm really happy with the way those guys are aggressive, come out and hit people. Those other guys you mentioned offensively too, Cam on the ground and Matt Kleiner on the ground, they had good games as well. And the other thing is that Cam went over 1,000 yards passing here too. So a lot of people don't realize. I mean, we run the ball and we make no bones about that. We want to run the football, but when we can still have a 1,000-yard passer in that mix as well, and I think his numbers are like 12 touchdowns and 1 interception for the year. So he's been very efficient for us, and he's playing very well.
You've been around. You mentioned Col Crawford for 14 years, but you've been a coach a lot longer than that. You played the game, and you've been in playoff situations before. And I know, coach speak says, well, we got to be solid in all 3 phases of the game, offense, defense, and special teams. But teams that make deep runs in playoffs, do you feel that it's more important to be more sound offensively or defensively as you move through the playoffs?
I think when we talk about it, I mean, the funny thing is Coach Ty and I used to talk about this a lot. And, playoffs a lot of times is all about matchups, to me, and that's kind of the thing. I mean, sometimes if you get yourself in the right matchup for your first couple games, and then you can get a little bit of momentum, I think that to me is kind of a huge thing. Because momentum and confidence and all those kind of things are huge, and sometimes you just match up a little bit better with a team than maybe what you would with somebody else. So, you're fortunate enough if you get yourself in the right situation, you get a good couple matchups, and you can get rolling, get playing, your guys get confidence. To me, I think that's that goes a long way in playoff football.
Yeah, for sure. Very good. We're going to take a moment here and take a break and honor some of the people that help support this show. Stephen Chuck Keller at Keller Auto Parts in Appadale and Uptown Gallion and Crestline. Marie Mounts at the Platinum Insurance Agency, a Progressive Agent, 131 Harding Way East in Uptown Gallion. And Joe Klein and Associates at the Gallion office, for Federal Bank of Ohio. First up is junior Jacob Moss. All juniors here tonight, and welcome to the show. How are things going?
Pretty good, thank you.
Good, very good. And wow, what a season. Despite that one loss at Cary, a very good Cary team, which you may have an opportunity to see again. We're not going to put the cart before the horse, so to speak, because you have a couple things to take care of here before that. But when you look back at the season, the 10 weeks, amidst COVID, and you didn't have to cancel any games for that, and you go 9-1, you're second place in the N10. Coming off last year as a sophomore and now seeing what this group did, does it amaze you, or you thought, hey, we had it all the time, we knew we would be good?
Yeah, last year was a little rough.
Yeah, but this year, I mean, does it surprise you at all?
A little bit, yeah.
What was big, what's the big thing that got you to where you guys are this year, in your opinion? How did it all happen? You lose a guy like Tristan Cross, you lose Brock Ritzoff, but yet you just reload. How did that happen, do you think?
People standing up and everything.
Yeah, doing their role, right? They're 111th. We talked about that throughout the year. Oregon Stritch, Cardinal Stritch team coming in. You've seen them on film. What kind of concerns you about what you've seen on film with them?
Mainly their quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah.
Run and pass, or?
More running.
More running, okay. So he'll tuck it and go.
Yeah.
All right, so your defense is going to have to play tough physical football. Very
Yeah,
good. Well,
keep
good
it
luck.
in the
Enjoy the
pocket.
experience this week. You're going to be home. You don't have to go on the road. Little home cooking's always a good thing, right?
Yeah.
All right, thanks for coming out. I appreciate it. And next up, Isaiah Studer is here. Welcome. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing really well. And you're playing both sides of the ball?
I play more defense.
More defense. Okay, what position on the defense?
D tackle.
Okay. Only 13 points a game, 200 yards of total offense you're giving up. Yeah, everybody loves the glory numbers on the offensive side, how many yards, how many touchdowns, all that. But, when I've talked to Coach DeGray this year, he's been very impressed with the defense, and I have been as well, because, yeah, it's one thing to score, but to shut somebody else down and break their will. How proud have you been of your whole defensive unit and all the guys that play defense, whether they're starters or not?
Yeah, it's great having the defense that we have. It's good having us behind our offense and keeping everybody down.
Coach talked about the physicality, that you have some old school players that just like to hit. Where does that come from? Where does that mindset come from?
Just wanting to hit, I guess.
Is it infectious, where you see maybe a couple guys that are doing it routinely, and then all of a sudden you think, man, I want to join the party. I want to be part of that as well.
Yeah.
And so this team, the Cardinals of Cardinal Stritch coming in, do they look like they're a physical line from an offensive standpoint, or what have you seen from them?
Their O-line, I mean, they're physical, but they're not the most physical team I've seen.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, good luck. Enjoy. Have fun. You've got your home crowd. You got your home surroundings. You got your home locker room. That's got to help as well. All right. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate it. Next up, we have Kole Bryan, also a junior. And it's good to have you, Cole. And wow, a great season. Congratulations on that, first and foremost. And it had to be just a pleasure all year to be part of this.
It has been a great pleasure to be a part of this.
What's when you look back, and I can remember being out there at I think it was the first scrimmage when you had Edison there, and I saw some good things at that time, other than sweat rolling down my head at that point. But where has this team really gotten better from that moment to where you are right now?
We've gotten better all around. Defense, offense, we've just locked in and gotten better all around.
And it's infectious. I mean, when you start to just break the other team's will, you hustle and practice, because let's face it, guys, if you don't do what you do in practice, you don't execute it during the game. So it's obvious that you're paying attention to what you're supposed to be doing, your assignments and things like that, your footwork in practice. And has this team, I'm going to ask you straight out, and Coach can't answer this question, has this team peaked yet?
Honestly, I don't think we have yet.
Okay.
We can still get better. We still have more room for improvement.
And that's hard, because when you look at the numbers, it's like, what more can you do? But it's great to have that mindset.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Well, good luck this weekend. I hope you enjoy the game and move on to week 12 for sure. Next up, we have Owen Niedermeyer here, and this is crazy. Every week that I get prepared for this, and Lonnie McMillan at the Northern Penn Conference website sends me the statistics, and I just look at it and I shake my head. How can you guys be that good? But talk about that mentality of everybody doing their part, because when I talk to Coach Sheldon during basketball season, he talks about the 1/5, and there's guys that probably only play a little bit of basketball each week, but they do what they're asked to do when they're asked to do it. How has that kind of mentality played on the football scene?
I would say that it plays because everybody who gets in, they just want to play. They just want to go out there and have fun, hit hard, and do the part of the team so they can feel like if we get a win, then they feel like they contributed towards that.
And it's important that you've had a lot of running clock situations, so kids that normally don't get time on Friday night get time on Friday night, whereas other schools, you know, your seniors or your starters are playing the whole game or the majority of the game. What does that do for future teams, in your opinion? I'm asking you to put the coach hat on here, and what's that do for kids that normally wouldn't get to play on Friday night that now get to for future teams?
I would say that it prepares them mentally because you can work out all you want, you get as strong as you want, but then you got to have that mental mindset of I can do this. I don't want to fail. I want to do stuff for my team.
And there's no way to simulate what a Friday night experience is on the practice field. You have to be out there with the lights on, the fans in the stands. You can't simulate that any other way, and that gives them that experience, doesn't it?
Yep.
Stritch, what concerns you the most about them on the defensive side of the ball?
I would say just getting through the line. I want our defense to get through, and then I want their defense to be, just all over the place because with our running, we have pretty good running backs. So I'm kind of worried about their line getting through and stuff. So I'm hoping our O-line can do.
All right, very good. Good luck. Enjoy that experience.
Thank you.
Have a good time with it. Our show is brought to you in part by the Burkhart Farm Center at the Burkhart Farm Center, your Case IH dealer straight west of Gallion on the Manette, New Winchester Road. Mike Kleinite at Ag Credit Residential Lending, Bucyrus, Mount Gilead, and Marion, and Sweet Baby Ray Jones at Ohio Door and Sash, 120 South Street in Gallion. This is Coach's Corner East on the home of iconic rock, Q92.7. WQEL in Bucyrus, and the WQEL Facebook page. And Coach, Oregon Cardinal Stritch up there just south of Toledo, coming to your place on Saturday night. This Division 6 is going to be Saturday. We will have that game on WBCO because we're contractually obligated to have the Buckeye game, the Scarlet game from Ohio State. So we will be on our sister station WBCO this Saturday night. It'll be Coach Tim Byrie and Jerry Moore at your place. They had lost to Northwood last week, a rival of such. They're 2.3 miles apart. There's two schools, so it's kind of like Bucyrus and Winford being apart. They lost to them 49-48. The Cardinals finished up 5-3 overall, and they had back-to-back weeks canceled. I assume it's a COVID-type situation, and they've lost 2 of their last 3 games. And Coach Gene Rucker is their coach. When you look at their film, how many films do you actually get to see of them?
We exchanged 3. You get to play off football, and you get to pick which 3 films you want from their season. So yeah, we exchanged 3.
Okay. And when you look at them, first and foremost, who do they remind you of from maybe not necessarily the N10, but somebody around here that we can relate to?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody necessarily from the N10. I mean, they're a spread team offensively, so maybe a Seneca East type spread. But I would say a little different look than what Seneca East does. Seneca East probably a little bit throwing some more ISO and trap and that kind of thing in there, where they're mostly spread, running zone a good portion of the time, and when they're not running zone, some quarterback counter tray, quarterback sweep, that kind of thing. So it's a spread look, and we see a variety of spread looks throughout the season, but probably none quite like this one.
Are they run first, pass second kind of mentality?
No, they'll do both. I mean, their quarterback throws it well. And to say that I don't hesitate at all saying that he throws it well, because he does. He throws it very well. But yeah, I'm more concerned about his legs, because he's really good. I mean, he can run the football. He can take any play at any moment and go the distance, and he can do that without any blocking. He's that kind of athlete. He's a special kid. You get him in space, and he's going to make plays. So he throws the ball. He throws it well, but he really scares you with his legs. And they've got a couple nice running backs too that scare you. And on the edge, the receivers are pretty doggone good too. So they're athletic as all get out. We're going to have to be very good defensively.
Well, they score points. They're averaging 31.4 points per game, give up just shy of 29 points per game. But, I looked at their schedule, and Northern 10's a pretty good football conference. Their, what I would call only quality win was over a 6-4 Ottawa Hills team. They beat them 28-14. Other than that, their wins were against 500 or sub 500 teams. But you play who's on your schedule. You don't get to necessarily, other than non-league, you don't get to really pick who you're going to play. But defensively, what will you see from them defensively, from a defensive set?
Defensively, we anticipate seeing a four-man front. We anticipate maybe probably an under front, which would be a flip type front up front from them. Now they will play some what would be a four base look as well, or 4-2-ish, 4-4-ish. But they have shown some 50 look as well. They showed 50 early on in the season. So, we can see a variety of different things. I would anticipate it's going to be a 4-2 type look for us. I like their defensive backs. It's the same guys in the defensive backfield that you see, athletically on the offensive side of the ball. They make plays, they run to the ball, they tackle well. So it's very athletic. It's one of the more athletic teams that we're going to see this year.
Numbers wise, what, probably about mid-30s, did I see?
No, I think they're more, high 20s, I would say. Yeah.
So with your lines on both sides of the ball and the physicality, is that something that you feel that you can kind of wear them down as the game goes on, or hope to do so?
Well, we hope to. I mean, we've got to assert ourselves on the offensive line. I mean, the offensive line is key. If you can run the football, obviously keep their offense off the field, and
right.
that's pretty well the key is to try to limit their offensive opportunities as much as we can, because like I said, they're scary in space.
How's your team's health right now going into week 11?
As good as it's been, we've missed, we've 4 or 5 guys that do a lot of special teams work for us, and our backup guys, quality backup guys that will play a couple series of game for us to get our starters some breaks. We're missing 4 of those guys. I think we'll get 1 of those guys back this week. But overall, from a starter standpoint, I think we'll have everybody Saturday night.
Okay, very good. You will be again on WBCO. That's kickoff at 7 o'clock this Saturday night, and I'm allowed to do this because I'm in the media. If you do win against Cardinal Stritch, you're going to be potentially on the road, likely on the road, because you will get number 2 seed Crestview. They're going to be playing, oddly enough, number 15 seed Northwood, who Stritch just lost to. If Northwood were to upset Crestview, you would have Northwood at home, but the likelihood that Crestview is going to win is probably pretty good. And you're not putting the cart before the horse, but you got to start thinking that way as you go into playoffs, because it's one and done, and you got to kind of prepare with what you got next. But let's take care of business this week with Stritch, and hopefully we can talk next week about week 12 and who we'll see at that point.
We hope to. It's a great opportunity for our kids, and we're excited about it.
Very good. Well, thanks for stopping out. Best of luck, and keep that train rolling, okay?
All right. Thank you.
All right. Take a break here. We'll come back with the Crestline portion right after tonight.